Okay, Ms. Lucero, she still is not logged in.
I tried to call her, Your Honor, and I left her a message, told her that you were ready to get started. I spoke with her yesterday evening, sent her the login information. So, if we need to go ahead and start, if you could just keep an eye out for it, I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, then at this time, let's see. Hang on a minute, y'all. I need to record just a second. We're here today on a reset of our adversary hearing. And we are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. I don't have a reporter today. So if you need a copy, let us know and we'll make it available. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present ready, Your Honor.
Lori Lucero on behalf of the mother, Lisa Martinez, Your Honor. I'm present. I can't announce ready because I don't have a client, but I am present.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
Okay, Ms. Lucero, I understand. The problem is, as you know, we've had to reset this several times now. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
so we've got to proceed today. Ms. Martinez has been personally served in the case, and obviously, she requested an attorney, and you were appointed. So, okay, Mr. Trout, who's your first witness?
Alexis Valenzuela.
I'm the investigator assigned to the case.
And how did the department become involved in this case?
We'd received an intake on December 27th with concerns of physical neglect and neglectful supervision.
And once you received that report, what was your first steps in your investigation?
Initially, my first step was to contact the reporter and then make contact with Luxury.
Okay. And were you able to make contact with Luxury?
Yes, I made contact with Luxury on December 30th.
Okay. And what did you notice about her when you first saw her?
When I first saw her, I noticed she had an old mark or what looked like an old burn on the left side of her back.
Did you notice anything else about her at that time?
I did not. She was free of any other marks and injury.
Okay. And where did you make contact with her?
I made contact with her and she was with Ashley King when I received my intake.
Okay. And what is mother's name?
Alyssa Martinez.
Okay. You said you made contact with her at Ashley King's?
Yes.
Who is Ashley King?
She is a former friend of Alyssa's.
Okay. Did you find out, was she just watching her or was Luxury staying with her?
She had Luxury for an extended period of time, off and on.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
All right, sustained.
Did you eventually meet with mother?
I did.
Okay. Did the mother tell you how long Luxury had been with Ashley?
She did not. It was just off and on for a few months.
Did you ask mom why she was not caring for Luxury?
I did, yes.
And what was mom's response to that?
Mom had been living in several different houses, and at some points there were places or homes that Alyssa was staying that she did not feel were completely safe for Luxury, and so at that point she would leave Luxury with other people.
Okay. If those places weren't safe for the child, did mom state why she was staying there?
She did not, no.
Okay. Did she state why she didn't feel those places were safe?
No, she didn't.
Did she tell you where these places were?
No, she did not. I had one home where she was staying with her brother, but at that point Luxury was with her, and then there was another friend. But any other houses, no.
Did you discuss the mark on Luxury with mom?
I did.
Okay. And did mom give you an explanation of what she thought that was?
She did.
And what was that?
She was giving Luxury a bath in the sink, and mom thought that she had turned off both the hot and the cold water, and it turns out she'd only turned off the cold water, leaving the hot water on, and it burned her back.
Did mom take her to the doctor or have it looked at?
No, she did not.
And did she state why she did not do that?
Yes, mom tried to treat it at home. She was in fear that the department would be contacted had she taken Luxury to the doctor's office.
Okay. Even if it was an accidental situation?
Yes.
What were you said she had been staying with her brother at one point. Did she name any other places, hotels, shelters, anywhere else that she had been staying?
When I spoke with mom on January 2nd, she was staying at the Red Roof Inn. There was also at one point another friend that she was staying with, but that was when she was pregnant.
Did you discuss any drug use with mom?
I did.
Okay. And what did mom state about her past or current drug use? Did she have any?
So she admitted to currently using THC. And then she had also admitted to past cocaine use, with her use being at some point during her pregnancy. And that was her last cocaine use.
Did you ask mom if she would drug screen for the department?
I did, yes.
And did she ever go drug screen for you?
A few days later, she did.
Okay. And were those anything concerning in those screens?
They were both positive for marijuana, and so I did have a conversation with mom about that.
And what was your conversation with mom about the marijuana use?
About having what we call plan for safe care. So just ensuring she's not using around the child and she's not under the influence when she's caring for Luxury.
Okay. And when you were having this conversation with mom, was Luxury around?
No, not at that time. No.
Okay. Do you know where she was?
She was still at Ashley King's home.
Okay. Did mom ever, during your investigation, did mom ever take back custody of Luxury?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And when was that?
That was on the 16th, I believe.
16th?
Yes, January 16th.
Okay. Of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. Where was mom staying at that time?
She was staying with two friends, DeMarlon Finney Jr. and Wendy Finney.
Okay. And does Wendy have another last name, or did she used to go by another last name?
The name that was initially given to me was Barbary.
Okay. Did you discuss in your talks with mom, did you discuss or what procedures did you go through to try to prevent any type of removal or to try to work with mom to make sure the child was safe?
So due to Alyssa's history with the department and history with drug use, we discussed sending the case to family-based services and the Texas Family First program. Alyssa was in agreement to work family-based. And so before we had officially made that referral, I talked to mom about not allowing Luxury to be unsupervised with the home member she was staying with. We had completed that family-based referral because mom was in agreement to work services.
Okay. And you looked into history of the people mom was working with?
Yes.
Or living with, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. And did they have concerning backgrounds for the department?
They did.
Okay. Did either one of them have prior CPS history?
Yes, Wendy did.
Okay. And you said you discussed with mom to not allow them unsupervised with her?
Yes.
Okay. What happened after that?
So I went out to the home on January 23rd and I'd made contact with DeMarlon, who lives in the home. Alyssa was not there that day. And I went back to the home the next day and Alyssa was also not there.
Was the child there?
She was.
How long after having the conversation about not allowing them unsupervised with the child did you find the child there unsupervised?
About a week.
Were you able to find mom to talk to her about this?
I was
Okay, and where did you find mom?
at the Potter County Detention Center.
Had you been notified prior to that that mom had been arrested?
I was not, no.
Okay. When you went by the house, did Wendy or anybody notify you where mom was?
No, they did not. They told me that she was at Waffle House for training.
But mom had been in jail for a day or two at that time.
Yes.
What was mom arrested for?
It was a bond surrender for possession of a controlled substance.
And at that time, mom was not able to care for luxury. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Real quick, during your conversations with mom, did she tell you who dad was?
She did. She listed father as Devin Harris.
And were you ever able to make contact with Devin Harris?
I did make contact with him, yes.
Okay. How did you do that?
By phone. I contacted him.
Okay. And where did you get his contact information?
There was another investigator that provided me with that information.
Okay. Did Devin Harris state whether he is Luxury's father, or did he have concerns of that?
He had concerns that he was not Luxury's father.
Okay. Did he, in your conversations with him, did he state whether he wanted paternity testing to be sure?
He did. He asked for one.
Okay. And later when you spoke to mom, did mom also ask for that?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Did you discuss mom's criminal history with her?
Yes.
Okay. Does mom have any prior issues with drug use?
She does.
Okay. Did she state whether she had any prior convictions for any drug use or drug possessions?
The one specifically we talked about, which is what led to her arrest this recent time for the possession of a controlled substance.
Your Honor, I sent out some exhibits, exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all certified copies of prior complaint informations and judgments against mom for possession of drug use or possession of controlled substances. I'm sorry. I'd ask to admit those 4 exhibits.
Your Honor, I would object to exhibits 1, 2, and 3. I don't believe they're relevant to this case. It was prior to the child being born. And as far as exhibit 4, I don't object to that one.
Your Honor, as far as 1, 2, and 3, I understand they are prior to the child's birth. They are also go to the weight of the evidence, as these were prior to the child and we're still having the same type of drug arrest and convictions for mom for the last 7 or 8 years. And also that at least one of the convictions is for the same substance as the most current possession charge.
All right, is 4 the most recent one?
4 is the most recent, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just taking a look through them.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, they're all complaints.
Yes, ma'am. They're all misdemeanor complaint informations and judgment is what they are.
I'll overrule Ms. Lucero, but you know, they're just being complaints, you know, and not judgments or anything. You know, I'll admit them for, you know,
And
what weight they would carry. I mean, as just as a complaint.
And Judge, there are judgments with all 3 of these.
If you scroll down, Your
If you
Honor.
scroll
okay,
down, I combined on each case so they stay together.
All right, hang on a minute then. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't. I thought it was just. All right, just a minute. We got plain information and judgments. Okay, let me look through them real quickly. That changes things. Okay, I'm gonna overrule the objection and I will admit exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
My apologies, I didn't look all the way down.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was trying not to send out a whole bunch. I tried to combine them as much as I could.
I know, because I complained the other day.
So mom was arrested when, for this most recent charge, Alexis?
I believe it was January 23rd.
And how long was when was mom released? Do you know?
It was last week. I'm not sure the specific day, but I do know it was last week.
And according to Exhibit 4, she pled to and took a conviction for the possession of controlled substance.
Yes.
Do you know where mom is now?
When I spoke with her the other day, she was in between places. So at her dad's home, at a motel. I did try to speak with her yesterday, but I did not receive a response on her current location.
After mom was, you discovered that mom was incarcerated, and Luxury was with people that were unapproved at the time due to history. Did you feel is in the best need of or best interest of the child to ask for a removal?
We did, yes.
Excuse me, for an exigent removal.
Yes.
And then we filed and that was approved, correct?
Yes.
Where was the child placed?
She was placed in a foster home in the College Station area.
And how was the child doing?
She's doing well. The foster parents update me frequently with her with how she's doing.
Since mom has been out of jail, have you been able to set up any type of visit with her?
I have not been able to set that up, no.
Okay, and why have you not been able to set that up?
St. Francis typically are the ones that are responsible for setting up visitation between the parent and child.
Okay. Do you know whether a visit has happened yet or not?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. When you discussed with mom, did you go over the removal with mom?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you explained what mom needed to do?
Yes.
Did mom have any questions at that time?
No.
Did mom have concerns about you contacting Devin Harris?
Not that I can remember.
Did mom state whether she was upset with Wendy for giving you that information?
Yes, she was.
Okay. Did she state why?
She did not know.
Did mom give any names of people she wanted looked at for placement?
She did, yes.
Okay. And were you able to look into those?
I have made 2 attempts at each person she gave, and I've only been able to get in contact with an aunt that she provided.
And is that aunt willing to be looked at?
No, due to her home arrangement, she has 2 other people that are living in the house, and she also spoke about some criminal history that the home members have. So she didn't think that they would pass a home study.
Were you able to get back in touch with that alleged dad in the case and let him know about the removal?
I have sent him the removal paperwork. He's still asking for a paternity test, but I have not had recent contact with him.
Okay. And did you forward the links to him to try to be here for the hearings?
For the past few hearings I have, and I have not gotten a response from him.
Okay. To your are you sending it by text, email? How are you sending that?
I believe text and email.
Okay. And to your knowledge, those texts and emails are still active?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that based upon the history and the moving around of the child, but also mom's incarceration, it was in the best interest of the child to remove?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor, can I ask just two more questions? I apologize.
Sure.
Ms. Valenzuela, are you asking the court today to grant the department temporary managing conservatorship?
Yes,
And you believe that is in the best interest of the child?
I do.
And for mom to eventually be ordered to work services?
Yes,
Are you also asking due to requests from the alleged dad and from mom, statements made from them for paternity testing to be ordered on Devin Harris?
yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Lucero?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Valenzuela, so going back to December 27th of 2024, y'all got a report of neglectful supervision, and you went out there, talked to whoever reported it, and you saw luxury on the 30th. Is that right?
Yes,
And then you talked about a burn mark that had healed on her back, right?
yes,
But then you stated that there were no other marks on her, nothing that caused you concern. Isn't that true?
yes,
Okay. And then you did make contact with the mother, Alyssa. And at the time she told you she was kind of staying at different places. Sometimes she'd have luxury with her, sometimes she didn't, because she wanted to make sure that her daughter was safe, right?
yes,
Okay. So would you agree with me that if she's taking those steps and there's a home that not both of them can stay at, she was taking steps to be protective of her daughter?
yes,
Okay. Now, there were some exhibits that were admitted, and I just want to be clear, the most recent arrest was for, and she pled out to time served. Could you see that on the judgment for the most recent case?
I do.
Okay. And when we talk controlled substance, sometimes we're talking cocaine, sometimes we're talking methamphetamine, but in this case, it was tramadol. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
And isn't it true that you also spoke with?
Objection, Your Honor, that as far as tramadol, I believe kind of a misstatement. I believe the actual complaint information just says codeine.
Okay, all right. I know one of them said tramadol, so sorry about that.
That's
Okay.
right.
So which
Oh.
exhibit number are you referring to, just for my,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just referring to the last one, Exhibit 4.
okay. All right, go ahead with your questions.
Thank you. Now, whenever did you discussed with Alyssa about her getting arrested, and she advised you, well, did she advise you who those pills belonged to?
she did.
Okay. And who did she say they belonged to?
Her brother.
Okay. And did she tell you that her brother had a prescription for those pills?
She did.
Now, when she drug tested for the department, she didn't test positive for anything but marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And she advised you that she did, you testified that she did advise you that she did use marijuana, and you talked to her about safe use and all that, right?
yes,
Okay. Now, whenever you couldn't locate her for a couple of days, you found Alyssa at the Potter County Jail, right?
yes,
Okay. And at that point, you stated y'all were concerned, I guess with the Finney, Mr. Finney Jr. and Wendy, that y'all didn't want the child with them. I'm making
Yes.
sure I'm not getting the friends mixed up. Okay. All right. But at that point, Alyssa had been in jail for a couple of days, right?
yes,
Okay. And did she advise you that she had not left Alyssa with Mr. Finney or with Wendy when you spoke with her?
she did.
But once she was arrested, she didn't have access to her child. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you stated that the department moved forward with a removal of the child of luxury because there was no one to take her and her mom was in jail, right?
Yes,
Okay. But now Alyssa's out of jail, but y'all don't want to return her at this time, correct?
yes,
Okay. Did she speak with you and advise you that, that she was, you stated that she'd been staying with her dad, and she'd also
Yes.
been staying at a hotel, like an extended stay hotel, correct?
yes,
Okay. So would you agree with me that she's just getting out of jail last week, that maybe she's struggling a little bit to see exactly where she's going to stay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, did she ever talk to you about maybe possibly going to the Salvation Army? Because they have rooms set up for families. Did she discuss that with you?
Not that I can recall recently.
Now, you'd agree with me that there are families that stay at these different places because we have a big homeless population here in Amarillo. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. But so long as a parent keeps a child with them and make sure that they're safe, and if all they can do is go to the Salvation Army, the department doesn't move forward to try to remove those kids, do you?
No.
And is the reason that the family-based services case was not able to proceed, was that ever filed, or was that something y'all were talking about when she was arrested?
We talked about it before she was arrested. She was willing to voluntarily work services, so we didn't have to file anything.
Okay. So whenever y'all do family-based services, y'all don't have to fill out paperwork or anything like that. It's just an agreement.
It's a referral through our system.
Okay.
And once that referral is approved, we have to set up an assessment with the family-based worker. That assessment was never able to be scheduled because Alyssa was incarcerated.
Okay. And at this time, why wouldn't, now that she's not incarcerated, why wouldn't family-based services, that type of program be, is that not appropriate for Luxury and Alyssa at this time so they could stay together?
I think we would have to ensure where mom is staying is safe for Luxury and that she's able to provide for her basic needs before we could look at sending the case to family-based.
Okay. And as far as her basic needs, the report says that Alyssa currently receives WIC, TANF, and food stamps, right?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as, food, things like that, she'd be able to provide for her because she had been providing for her, correct?
Yes.
And if she were to go and stay with her dad, does the department have an issue with that?
I need to make sure the home is appropriate first before I can answer that.
Okay. Would it be based on who's living there? What kind of things do y'all look at to see if a home is appropriate for someone?
Well, given that Luxury is one, we would have to make sure there's no dangers in the home, like mold or holes in the house, that there's not too much clutter where she could climb and fall or nothing is going to, fall on top of her if it's stacked too high. We'd also make sure that the home has running working utilities, and that would include background checks on the people that are living in the home as well.
Is that something that the department could do, or I guess the department could do a quick turnaround on? Would that take long? Does it have to be staffed, or is that just something that could be done?
That would have to be staffed up, but it's something that we could do.
And just to be clear, Ms. Valenzuela, exhibits 1 through 4 that Mr. Trout had admitted today, all those were misdemeanor cases. Is that correct? Or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay, that's fine. Now why was the child placed so far away? Was it because it was a quick pickup and she had to be placed somewhere and there was no place here, or why is she so far away?
Typically, whenever we find placements that are that far away, it's because there's no in-region placements. Whenever St. Francis looks for placements, they always start with our current region. And when there's no placements in that region, they have to start looking further.
And have y'all looked for any locations, or do you know if St. Francis has that are closer for Luxury, or do y'all have to wait for this court hearing to be done, see what the judge decides before they can look to move her closer?
I'm honestly not sure if St. Francis has looked for a closer placement.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Vala?
When you first began your investigation, you met with the child at Ashley King's home.
Yes.
And when you were able to speak with mom and you were looking at trying to set up some sort of safety plan or less restrictive option, was Ashley ever identified by mom as a possibility?
No, she wasn't.
Had mom voluntarily left the child with Ashley previously?
Yes.
I'm gonna object to speculation, Your Honor, unless Ms. Martinez advised Ms. Valenzuela of that.
All right, I think is asked. I'll sustain the objection.
So when you were talking to mom about her living in different areas and not bringing Alyssa with her to places she felt were unsafe, did mom say who she left the child with during those times?
I believe it was with Wendy at one point.
Okay. We're talking about her dad now, Alyssa's dad as being a possibility. Did she ever leave the child with the child's grandfather, her father?
No.
When you were working with Alyssa to set up this safety plan so that Luxury would never be left alone with the Finneys, did she suggest, hey, my dad can also be in support or anything like that?
No, she did not.
You said that you had reached out to the people identified on mom's form regarding possible placement of the child and had only gotten a response back from one. Are there other family members that you can continue to try to work with if they respond to you?
Yes, if they responded, yes. I have no issue trying to make more attempts.
Okay. So there are still possibilities of placement with family or fictive kin that mom's identified if those people will cooperate.
Yes.
You said that when you spoke with Alyssa, and I don't know if I've got my timeline right, but somewhere in there when she said, I did not leave the child with the Finneys.
Yes.
Okay, who had she left the child with, and how did the child end up back with the Finneys?
I mean, mom was arrested, and when mom was arrested, she did not have Luxury. So
you went on 2 different days to the Finneys home, and Luxury was there without Alyssa.
that's correct.
But Alyssa says I didn't leave her there.
Yes.
And she never clarified who she left Alyssa with?
That's correct.
I passed the witness.
Ms. Martinez is just logging in. I'm going to admit her. All right, Ms. Martinez, can you hear me? You'll have to unmute.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Ms. Martinez, your hearing started at 11:15, so we're way into it. Do you need a moment to talk with your attorney?
Your Honor, I'd like just a couple of minutes. We spoke yesterday, but just a couple of minutes, if I could have, please.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Martinez, you're going to get a prompt that you can say join room 1. Okay, I think back to you, Mr. Trout, maybe?
I think so. I think Ms.
Yep.
Zavala just passed, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Valenzuela, just a couple of follow-up questions. Ms. Lucero had asked you, mom had been staying other places and let the child stay with other people to take care of her, and that was good for mom to do that. And that mom was providing for the child. Who was providing for the child when mom had left her with other people? Did she ever say?
No, she didn't.
Do you know, did mom ever tell you whether she was taking food by the house to provide for the child and diapers and stuff, or were the people the child was staying with providing those things?
The people that Luxury was initially staying with were providing for her.
So mom really wasn't providing for her. She was just kind of dropping her off with other people while she was doing what she wanted to.
Yes.
Project speculation, Your Honor.
All right, sustained.
And I think I'm a little confused, so I want to make sure that we're right on this. When mom was arrested, had she left the child with Wendy, Barbara, and them?
It appears that way, yes.
Was mom supposed to be staying with them at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Was it odd to you during your investigation that for 2 days that you went by, they were telling you mom was at job interviews or training, but mom was actually incarcerated?
Yes.
So from what you could tell and from what you observed, they knew for at least 2 days mom had not been there.
Yes.
Okay. And is it a large concern, even though mom is leaving the child with other people while she stays in unsafe places? Is it concerning that a mom with a 1-year-old is just still staying at unsafe places and leaving her child with other people?
Yes.
And you still feel it was in the best interest of the child to remove, asking the court to grant temporary managing conservatorship?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Lucero, any further questions?
Just one, Your Honor. Ms. Valenzuela, so it was just to be clear, the department knew, I guess, at the time that Alyssa was living with Wendy and Mr. Finney, but it was just that she was not supposed to leave the child alone with them. Is that right? Unsupervised?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't that the child couldn't be in the home, the child just couldn't be left in the home with Wendy and Mr. Finney unsupervised, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, and Ms. Zavala?
No further questions.
All right, Mr. Trout, any further witnesses today?
Call Michelle Slagle real quick, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Slagle, if you'll raise your right hand. Ms. Martinez, can you unmute for me? Okay. It appears to me that you are in bed, in your pajamas, and this is a courtroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I woke up every hour on the hour. Like, this has been something that I couldn't sleep. This has been something that's bothering me for months
Okay.
now.
Okay, that's not, but
I
that wasn't my
exceeded
question.
it.
So my question is, I think you ought to turn your camera off while we're proceeding. I think you need to get out of bed and maybe put some clothes on that are appropriate to this proceeding. Okay?
Okay.
You can stay, you can continue to listen, but because we're going to go ahead. All right, Mr. Trout, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Slagle, would you state your name for the record, please?
Michelle Slagle.
And Ms. Slagle, how are you employed?
I'm employed as a permanency specialist with St. Francis Ministries.
Okay. And if the court grants temporary managing conservatorship to the department today, you will be the caseworker?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had contact with mom?
Yes, I have.
Okay. There were some questions earlier, I believe Ms. Lucero asked about, maternal grandfather.
That's correct.
Okay. Have you had conversations with mom about, her dad?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Has she made any statements as far as to what his house is like?
Yes, she told me she wasn't for sure if it would be appropriate or if he or the home could pass a home study due to he's a hoarder. She said that she could clean out an area that they were safe to walk through and one of the rooms for them to stay in if she was able to have luxury back with her.
Okay. But you're going on what mom has told you. You haven't personally seen the house yet. Is that
That
correct?
is correct. That's what mom told me.
Okay. All right. And then there were some questions about, placement. Are we looking at placement back in this region or trying to find somewhere?
Yes, as soon as we were going to do this hearing and then put a placement request in to get her back into region because she is far away from us. So yes, we will definitely be trying to get her back closer to us.
Okay. And original placement, due to timeframes, was not able to find a placement in region. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But we are working on, if the department keeps custody at this point, trying to get the child back in the region.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Have you been able to set up any virtual visits with the child and mom?
No, she, her first virtual visit, of course, she was in custody and wasn't able to do that. I did send an email as soon as I was able to talk to her this week about getting virtual visits set up because we do that through a contractor. But I did tell her that I would get one set up that I would personally do myself this week so that she could see luxury before the end of the week.
Okay. And today's Thursday, so are we hoping to do that in the next day or two?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. All right. But you do have good contact from mom and have been in touch with her.
Yes, I have.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Lucero?
I don't have any questions for Ms. Slagle at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Zavala?
Ms. Slagle, do you receive regular updates from placement for luxury?
Yes, almost daily I receive updates.
Okay, so she is placed far away, but placement is in regular communication, provides detailed updates, photographs, everything.
Yes, they do.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I just have a follow-up for Ms. Slagle now.
Okay, Ms. Trout, you had anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Lucero?
Okay. Ms. Slagle, you just stated that the placement is keeping in good contact with you, which is good. Have you received photos for luxury, I should say?
Yes, I believe it was yesterday I received some photos. Yes.
Okay. And if the court grants temporary managing conservatorship to the department or to St. Francis, and before she's able to be moved back here, if you continue to receive photos, could you share those with Ms. Martinez?
Yes, I actually asked for her email address earlier this morning so that I could send those to her.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Zavala, you have any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Slagle, so does it sort of sound to you like Dad's house is probably not gonna be a possibility?
Yes, that's correct. She said herself she wasn't for sure if that would be a possibility, but that she could clean out an area for her in luxury.
Do you know where she's currently staying?
She's staying at Studio 6 Suites in Amarillo. It's an extended stay. She did also say that that could be an extended stay for her, that she would be able to stay there as long as she needed with the baby, and it has a refrigerator in it, and that would have daily maid service.
Does she have a job?
No, I believe she was putting in applications.
Who's paying for this
Uh,
motel?
I am not sure.
Does that concern you that we've got no verifiable income and that she's in a motel and we have no way of knowing whether she's going to be able to continue to pay for it?
Yes, that is concerning.
Okay. Anybody have any further questions for Ms. Slagle?
None from Ms. Slater. Yeah.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Trout, anything further?
I'd go ahead and call Mom, Alyssa Martinez, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Martinez, you need to unmute your device.
You heard the judge ask some questions, so I'll just kind of follow with those. How are you paying for where you are staying right now?
My dad is paying for it. He knew that his home was concerning, so he decided to pay for the room indefinitely.
Okay. Is he able to pay for it indefinitely?
Yes. And we're paying week by week because we know that there are other options out there. As far as renting a room, I was thinking that renting a room in somebody's home might be better. But right now, I'm by myself, so I don't have to worry about anybody else as far as the department's going, because I know that that would be a concern for the department.
When you say renting a room in somebody else's place, are you talking about like a Airbnb bedroom in somebody's house? Is that what
Yeah, like something like that. I look on the marketplace often. I actually found a a $500 rent yesterday. So in the month that it would be to pay for here, it would be cheaper to get something else. It's just that in the short notice that we had, I've only been out of jail for a week. We thought that this would be better, and we thought maybe it would be an option. But yeah, there's homes that rent rooms all the time, college students or people that, are an empty nest and they can't afford their home anymore because maybe a divorce or something. So I was thinking about that being an option as well.
And you understand that if that was the case and the child were to be placed back, those people would have to be looked at and then be involved in a CPS case.
Yes, sir. That's why I decided to stay here until further notice because I'm willing to go to the Salvation Army. I'm willing to go anywhere that I will be allowed to have my child back. But obviously my dad's house was concerning, and it was kind of a dead end because of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
state, the state it was in.
Are you currently working?
I'm actually supposed to start somewhere tomorrow. It's going to be like a contracting job, so it's going to be under the table, but it's going to be like cleaning office equipment and stuff like that
Okay.
at Brick
Now,
Care.
you said you're supposed to start somewhere. I mean, do you have a job lined up or are you just hoping
Yeah,
to have a job lined
it's
up?
called Brick Care. I just talked to the guy that is going to put me on this morning, so that was something I was doing this morning, and then I went to sleep and I didn't set my alarm to have the hearing, but I was waking up like every 30 minutes, every hour.
Okay. You understand it's concerning when you don't show up for your hearing till 45 minutes after the hearing starts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
This is actually the worst case scenario.
and it's noon and you have no job and nowhere to be, and you were still 45 minutes late to a hearing for your child.
Yes, I understand that's concerning.
Um,
I did not sleep well whatsoever. Like this was something that, definitely kept me up. I kept waking up and looking at the time, going back to sleep, looking at the
Objection,
time.
Your Honor, non-responsive.
Sustained.
Um, when did you get out of jail? How long have you been out?
A week.
Okay. And in that week, have you been looking for jobs actively since you have been out?
Yes.
Okay. Were you working anywhere before you went into jail?
No.
How long had it been since you had worked?
Maybe about 2 weeks.
Okay. And where were you working prior to that?
I was working at a bar, called House Bar.
Okay. And how long did
I'm a
you work there?
off and on for like 2, 3 years. I can fill in when I want to over there, but I've been trying to find something that works more with the daycare hours.
Okay. When you say you can fill in and you've been working off and on, you just kind of work when you feel like it?
I work when somebody calls in, or yeah, like if there's a call in or something like that. I know the owners, so they can call me and let me know like, hey, somebody called in, do you want to work? And I can work. But it was concerning because of the daytime hours
When
are for daycare.
when was the last time you had a full-time job that wasn't working for a friend?
Um, let's see, I worked at Western Horseman in June, so probably about June of last year.
Okay. Um, and why aren't you working there anymore?
The money was not what I wanted it to be.
Was the money better than not having a job?
Yes.
Okay. Um,
Well,
why?
I was supporting myself with my mom. My mom passed away, so my mom had left us some money. So yeah, I didn't have a job, but I wasn't broke. I had money. Like my mom left us with some money from her 401k. So I had money in the bank. I've always had food stamps. I've always had a way to
Objection,
provide
Your
for my
Honor,
child.
non-responsive.
Sustained. Just answer what he's asked.
Okay.
Ms. Martinez, why were you leaving your child with people instead of staying home and taking care of your child?
I wasn't leaving my child, but for a minute, there was a time period that I needed a mental break. My child was with me, and I was going through transitional housing, so I didn't have I didn't have a steady place to stay for a minute, and it was better for her to be somewhere else, like even at Wendy and at Wendy's house, because if I wasn't there, then she couldn't be there.
So you said you're in a transitional. When was the last time you lived in one place without moving around?
Probably, well, I went to jail in August, so August of last year.
August of 24?
Yeah,
Okay. And where were you living prior to that?
my brother's house.
Now, I believe you told Ms. Valenzuela your brother only gave you a month to live there. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, he had a deadline.
Okay. So that wasn't a steady place. I mean, for a period of time longer than a month.
He gave me a month, but I lived there from the time Luxury was born until August. So, um, he actually gave me a longer than a month. He just wanted me out within a month, so I didn't feel comfortable there.
Um, and at that time, were other people taking care of Luxury, or did you have her all the time?
I had her all the time.
Um, now there's some statements that were a little confusing as far as you hadn't left Luxury with, let me see, with Ashley, but then Ashley had her. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had my friend Ariana had took her to the babysitter, she said, and the babysitter at the time was Wendy. So when she said she was taking her to the babysitter, I thought she was taking her to Wendy, but she took her to Ashley, which was the babysitter I had before I started letting Wendy care for my child.
Why are why were other people taking your 1-year-old or less than 1-year-old around to other people's places?
She was 1 year old at the time,
1-year-old.
but because I was having kind of a mental breakdown, like I hadn't slept or been comfortable in a couple of days because of the living situation, because I knew that Ashley was going to call CPS. Like I knew that she was going to call them. I knew that this was going to happen, and it was concerning because I was trying to get my ducks in a row, and I wasn't able to in the time period that it took for y'all to get in contact with me. So Wendy was just a lifesaver at the time. she was able to at least give me a house for where my baby could come home to. But before that, I was not really in a stable living environment. Like I was having to spend the night places that I wasn't wanting to. And, I was having to drop off luxury where I didn't when I wanted to keep her. So I was trying to do what's best for my baby, and I personally couldn't do it at the time, but now it's a different situation.
And you agreed during the investigation, you agreed to a family-based services, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you agreed not to leave luxury unattended with Wendy Barber.
Yes.
Okay. And you did.
No, Wendy was not at the house when I left. It was her daughter Kayla, her daughter's
So-
2-year-old.
So you
That's who
left
was
her
at
with
the
somebody
house.
that was not approved.
Yeah, she hadn't been approved yet. It was going to be the next day when I called Alexis, because this was the middle of well, it wasn't the middle of the night, but it was past hours for CPS to be open. So I was going to call Alexis in the morning and have her check out Kayla, and then we were going to start the family-based program from that point. But I was arrested at about 10 o'clock that night, so it didn't happen that way.
You had a 1-year-old at the house. Why were you out to get arrested at 10 o'clock at night?
I was giving somebody a ride for some gas money. It
Where
was
was the
just
baby?
supposed to be up the street. The baby was in the bed with Kayla, and she was asleep.
So you had already left the baby with an unapproved person.
Kayla had not been approved yet. Yes, sir.
Okay. That person couldn't have called somebody else and let you take care of your 1-year-old?
Kayla,
No.
wait, say the
You
question
said you were
again.
giving somebody a ride at 10 o'clock at night. You didn't think it was more important to follow the rules and take care of your baby than it was to give somebody else a ride in the middle of the night?
It was literally up the street. I got pulled over for a headlight.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Lucero?
Thank you, Your Honor. On the day, Alyssa, that you left luxury with Kayla, how old is Kayla?
19.
And does she have any children of her own?
She has a 2-year-old.
And then you stated that you were going to reach out to Ms. Valenzuela the next day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that point, the family-based services case hadn't started. It was supposed to start the next day. Is that correct?
We were supposed to be in contact with each other the next day about when to start. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you left the house to give someone a ride, it hadn't officially started, the
Yes, ma'am.
FBSS case, correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you left. So when you left the house, you left your daughter with a 19-year-old young lady that has her own child, correct?
Yes.
And you stated that she was in bed asleep, right?
Yes.
And then you got pulled over for a headlight and you ended up getting arrested. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at no time well, let me ask you, did you intentionally leave your daughter in the care of Wendy or Mr. Finney?
No, ma'am.
Now, you stated that your dad is the one helping you pay for where you're staying now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you stated that you're planning on starting to work. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you also stated that, you could, pick up shifts and things like that at House Bar, but it really doesn't work well with daycare. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a place? Do you have a daycare in mind? Have you looked into anything during this last week since you've been out of jail?
Yes, ma'am. I had actually signed up with Becca's Babies. I told Miss Valenzuela that I could take luxury to Becca's Babies whenever I want to. I just haven't taken her to the daycare because I'm usually with her during the
Right.
daytime.
Okay. So this Becca's Babies, I mean, is it an official daycare? Is it an in-home daycare? What is it?
It's an official daycare. It's off a kid anyway.
Okay. All right. And then when you had stated that you'd worked at House Bar on and off for 2 to 3 years. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So would you just pick up a shift here and there, or was that more of a regular job at that time?
It was more of a regular job, but again, it was slow. I'm used to making pretty good money. As a bartender, I'm used to working at busier places. There it was like 50, $25 a night. I'm used to making about 100, 200, 300 a night. So that's what my goal is when I'm looking for a bartending position.
Okay. And this job that you're talking about starting tomorrow, I believe you said Brick Care, have they already discussed what your salary is going to be, things like that?
No, I actually need to go talk to them here in a little bit. I'm gonna shower and go see what I can do. But getting a job for me has never been hard. I know bar owners. I can fill in as I want to. I'm not beyond working fast food. I can work at McDonald's or something like that. It's just this has been my main concern. So I've been trying to find housing and, daycare and, getting the car fixed and everything like that so I can go to work because when I got out, the car had definitely issues running and stuff. So I've been, I had to get a new battery. I'm having to replace one of the windows. So, it's been a couple of things that I'm doing other than getting a job, but getting a job is definitely not something that's hard for me most of the time.
Now, there's concerns from the department that, you were kind of bouncing around for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then, and granted, they may be concerned for you, but they're concerned for your daughter. They don't want her bouncing from home to home or to be in a home that she doesn't know the folks. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you feel that you're in a better position today, looking at you're looking to start a job, you can stay where you're at while your dad's helping you? Now, once you start working and you get some money together, is that when you're going to try to look to find a more permanent place as opposed to where you're staying now?
Yes, ma'am.
And so let me just back up a little bit. As far as you said you stayed with your brother. Did you stay with your brother for over a year?
Not over a year. It was probably a little bit shy of a year because it was
Okay.
right before Luxury's first birthday that I moved out. And
Okay.
I started staying there a month before she was born. So yeah,
Okay.
about a year, not over a year, about a year exact.
Okay. And then at some point after you'd been there for nearly a year, he said, "Hey, I'm giving you a month. It's probably time for you to move."
Yeah.
Okay. And are you here today just asking the court to just return your daughter to you?
Yes.
Now, if the court thinks that it might be best to keep eyes on the situation and name the department temporary managing conservator, um, and if the court does that, you understand that, they'd keep an eye on you, you'd have to work services and things like that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I've
But
already
even,
completed my parenting classes, so
okay. And let's say the court does name the department temporary managing conservator. Even if the court does that, are you asking the court to just place your daughter with you? And that way
yes.
the court can keep eyes on the situation.
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Zavala?
Ms. Martinez, you said that at some point your friend Ariana took Luxury to the babysitter. And that is that when it turned out to be Ashley?
Yes.
Okay, and you thought she was taking her someplace else.
Yeah, I thought she was taking her to Wendy.
When did Ariana take her to the babysitter?
December like 23rd. It was right before Christmas.
Was that when was that in comparison to when Luxury got her burn?
It was like 6 or 7 months after the fact.
And you said that Ashley used to be your babysitter, but she wasn't anymore.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because Ashley was an opportunist, she would take advantage of me. I would send her money for diapers, wipes, and so on. And she would still want more money. She was threatening me all the time with the cops and CPS. Anytime Ashley didn't get her way, she was threatening to beat me up, call the cops, leave the baby outside. Just a bunch of threats and things that concerned me with her. Like, so I stopped letting her watch luxury.
When did you start using Wendy as a babysitter?
Wendy met and first started watching luxury probably in like November. She was watching her like here and there as Ashley couldn't. So she started watching her probably in like November of last year, but she became the permanent babysitter in December. I just stopped dealing with Ashley altogether in like the end of November, early December. I just stopped taking her over there, and I blocked her on social media and everything like that.
So when did you stop working?
Um, like I said, I worked at Western Horseman. Well, I started working there, and then I worked there for about 2 months. So I probably stopped working there in like June or so, July. And then I was just doing like, side jobs. Like I have two different bars that I was able to pick up at. One of them was House Bar and the other was Neighbors. So, I've worked at bars and nightclubs and stuff for the last 6 years. So I know some of the owners. So I can pick up shifts as needed, or, if I call them and I'm like, hey, can I pick up a shift? Usually I can, but most of the time it's when somebody calls in at short notice.
So
My, I was receiving TANF, which is money for needy families. So I had money even without a job. I've always had money.
so so you had money from your mom's from money that you got from your mom, and you got money from Tana,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you weren't working all that much. Why did you need so many babysitters?
When they would watch the baby, it would be when I would work. It would be when I could pick up a shift. Um, Ashley was just somebody that I didn't want to watch her anymore. At first, Ashley was watching her when I did have steady income and I was working, months and months at a time. The baby's only 1 year old, so it's not like I've had a long period of time to have babysitters. I didn't start working until she was 2 months old. I started working from 2 months old probably till about 6 months old. And then I got another job and that one didn't work out. So, it's been hard trying to find a steady daycare and steady income during the hours that I was looking for because, I usually would go into work at night till about 2 a.m. So Ashley was the one that could watch her during those time periods. But when Ashley no longer became an option, that's when Wendy became an option. And I started looking for jobs during the daytime when Wendy was concerning to the department because now I have to rely on daycare.
I think you said you passed, but
Sorry, maybe I hit mute too soon. I
Is-
passed the witness, yes.
okay. All right. Okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Trout?
Yes, ma'am. I got just a couple of questions real quick. Ms. Martinez, you stated to a question Ms. Zavala just asked you that is it Adriana? Is that her name?
Ariana.
Ariana had taken luxury to Ashley around December 23rd, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you had not been using Ashley as a babysitter?
No, I had
Okay.
stopped using Ashley as a babysitter.
So Ms. Valenzuela first made contact with Luxury at Ashley's house on December 30th. Did you just leave the baby with Ashley for a week?
No, Ashley had told me she was out of town and that she was going to come back into town. And then when she came back into town, I went to go get the baby and they said I couldn't get her because CPS was involved.
So you let somebody tell you that they took your 1-year-old child out of town without you knowing about it? And you didn't do anything about it?
What was I supposed to do? She probably wasn't even out of town.
I would call the cops if somebody took my child, but you didn't do
Yeah, well,
anything about it?
I went over there with like 5 or 6 people to try to get my baby back, and the cops were called on me.
I'll pass witness, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Alyssa, just to be clear, when Luxury was with Wendy at the end of December, did you go to her home to try to get her back?
With Ashley? Yes.
With Ashley, I apologize. I apologize. Okay, and you stated you took some folks with you as
Yes.
backup. Okay,
Yes.
and then did the police show up?
Yes.
Okay, did you call the police or did Ashley call the police?
Ashley called the police.
Did you explain to the police? You can't say what the police said, but did you explain to the police that your daughter was in the home and you wanted your daughter returned to you?
Yes.
Okay. Did the officers help you get your daughter back?
No.
Okay. Did you leave the property?
Yes.
Did you leave the property and your daughter behind by choice?
No.
Did it have to do with the cops being there?
Yes, they told me if I was not to leave the property, well, they told me I was trespassed and that if I was to show back up there, that I would be arrested.
I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Zavala?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Trout?
Real quick, Ms. Martinez, does Luxury, is she up to date on her vaccines?
Not at the moment unless they have gotten her vaccines since this has been going on.
Okay. Do you have record of what vaccine she has and what she hasn't had?
I did, but it was in a vehicle that I no longer have because it went to impound.
Okay. Have you been able to get your stuff out of the vehicle?
No.
Okay. Have you looked into that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, you don't know off the top of your head what she has and has not had?
She's up to date as far as I think about 6 months. I'm actually anti-vax. I don't really believe in vaccines. We're Indian. We're from an Indian tribe, and I don't actually like having the idea of them injecting my daughter with a medicine that is going to get her sick.
So at this time, as far as shots and to make sure she's up to date, you're not giving permission for that. Is that correct?
At this time, I will give permission because I know that it will look better for the department if she's up to date on her shots. So at this point, yes, she is going to get her vaccines.
Is there any way you can look into getting a copy of the shots record?
Yes, I can go to Texas Tech and get them. Yesterday I was actually at the Social Security office getting her Social Security card because that's no longer here. I have to get her birth certificate. So I have to start completely over and get everything. And that's what I've been doing this week is, getting our stuff in a row. So
Okay.
the vaccines is the last thing.
What you stayed at the Indian tribe, what tribe?
We're Apache and Cherokee.
Do you know which specific tribe or branch of those?
No, my dad does. He did a ancestry thing. I just haven't checked into it that much, but yeah, we are Indian.
Okay. Can you get that information to the workers?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, have you ever registered with the tribe or checked into that?
No, it's something that I definitely have been thinking, like wanting to and stuff, because I know that they help with like like finances as far as going to school and stuff like that. My dad's been telling us we're Indian my whole life, but he finally did the ancestry thing, and I believe that we are a percentage enough to where I could get that. Just my dad hasn't been around my whole life, you know, he barely became present the last 5 years, so.
All right, has he ever told you that he's registered with the tribe?
I don't believe so, but he's definitely told me that he wants to check into it because we are a percentage enough to check in with the tribe.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor, can I follow up with that just real quick?
Uh-huh.
Ms. Martinez, do you know, is anybody on your dad's side, have they ever been registered?
His father, but his father has passed away.
But he was registered?
I believe so.
Okay. That information we would need, I understand the blood quantities and stuff, but most of them go by paper trails of past family members. So if you have any family members you know were registered, or believe were registered, we'd need their information.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll pass witness, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Martinez, tell me about this extended stay place where you are right now. Does it have a kitchen?
There are suites that have a kitchen. The one that I have, I just have a crock pot and a fridge and a microwave.
Okay.
But there are suites with stoves in them. I think usually they have one bed and I have two, so that way, you know, she can have her own bed if she needs to. You know, it's pretty nice. A lot of people stay here for months at a time.
Well, I mean, do you have a crib or, I mean, is she sleeping in an adult bed?
No, I have the bed, a toddler bed, and then I also have a pack and play that has a bassinet attached to it. But Luxury can sleep in the bed with me as well. You know, usually she likes to sleep on her own, so I usually always have somewhere for her to sleep on her own. She has been sleeping on her own since she was about 2 months.
Well, in this parenting class that you've completed, did any of that cover safe sleep?
Yes. Yes, she's supposed to sleep on her back, never on her stomach, and with minimal blankets and pillows. Usually about a sheet or something is what's best.
And did you learn anything about sleeping in the bed with you?
Yes, she doesn't usually sleep in the bed. I was just saying that she could if she needed to, but there's two beds. She has her own bed, and she has a pack and play with a bed attached to it. That's usually we can't sleep together anyway. She moves too much and she usually ends up laying on my head or my face or something. So I just know that before when I would try to get her to sleep with me, it wouldn't work. So she's always in her own bed.
Did you contact Ms. Valenzuela or anybody with the department to tell them where you were staying so they could come look at it?
Yes. I contacted Miss Valenzuela the day that I started staying here, and I asked if she could come meet me here.
And had the department, asked you to work some services for them?
Ms. Valenzuela asked me to be a part of the home study. There was two different programs that she offered. One of them, I think, would be there for 4 hours. The other one would just be checking in ever so often. So I agreed to that one. She said it was voluntary, but basically that they could force me to do it. So I told her that I was willing to do the family home study, I believe it's called.
Or family-based safety services, maybe?
Yes, family based.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But did you do any of those services?
I started taking parenting classes while I was incarcerated. I got 10 certificates and 19 hours done. I was not able to set up anything with Ms. Valenzuela before because she had left a message the night of or the day of me getting arrested. So I was going to contact her the next day. I was going to give her Kayla's information and set up that family-based services. But
Okay,
instead, I went to jail.
But before you went to jail, had you started working any of those services?
We were supposed to set some up. So no, not yet. Me and Ms. Valenzuela were coming up with a date to meet. Luxury was
but-
only home for a few days before I was arrested, so I didn't get that far.
All right, anybody else have any further questions?
Quick question, Your Honor. Ms. Martinez, do you have other children?
Yes,
And do you have custody of those children?
I have joint custody.
Okay, so you're a possessor? on your
Yes.
children? Okay. And are you ordered to pay child support and medical support?
No, none at this time.
You have no child support, do you?
No.
Were you served with another suit? Or is it-
I had paperwork given to me in jail, but I thought it was towards the father or the alleged father of Luxury because I signed up for TANF. So with TANF, they make you put the dad on child support.
And when you say you're not ordered to pay child support at this time, what do you mean?
Because I didn't go to that meeting, so I don't know if it was for me or him. But at this time, I'm not. I usually provide for my children whatever they need, so there's not been no reason to put me on child support. If they ask for it, I get it for them.
So in a case on the other children back in 2018-19, you weren't ordered to pay child support?
No, because when I thought I was, but then when I went, because I was trying to get full custody at one point, and I went to the attorney general to get that proof of child support, because they say that if you're ordered to pay child support, then you're supposed to get certain visitation, and they weren't giving me visitation. Well, when I went to the attorney general, they said I'm not on any child support.
And when was that?
It was probably a year after or two after the case closed, because they tell you to wait a year before you go back to court to let the dust settle.
So at one time, were you ordered to pay $50 a month in child support?
I believe I was put on child support during the case or shortly after.
So you're not sure if you're really supposed to be paying or not?
I'm not sure because the last time I went, they said no, I was not on any case at the attorney general's office. They said I was not on child support.
And why do you not have custody of those children?
When I was pregnant with my son, my mother was dying and I was self-medicating with marijuana. And at the time, the department took my son from me when I gave birth.
Have you petitioned to try to get custody back?
I have not. I am working on that as well. That's something that I definitely want is full custody of my children, all three of them.
Ms. Martinez, at this time, and I understand you're asking for the child to be placed back with you. You'd stated earlier that you were working on, you needed a mental break, I believe was the word you used.
Yes.
And you're currently fresh out of jail, looking for a job in a more permanent place to live. Do you think it's in the best interest of the child, of your child, to be with you right now, moved around, or for you to try to get things lined up for yourself while the child is being cared for?
I believe that me and my child are better together. I believe that my child brings a lot of joy in life to me. It's motivation to get my stuff together. I believe that when I'm not with a child or with my children is when I tend to make mistakes that I wouldn't make normally.
And I understand that, Ms. Martinez, but the question was, do you believe it's in the best interest of the child? Not the best interest of you, the best interest of the child to be somewhere safe and well cared for while you figure these things out.
I believe that my child would be in her best interest being here with me while I am safe and well cared for. There's nothing right now that is concerning to me that I live in a place that is paid for. It's clean. It gets cleaned every day. I have a vehicle. I have a job lined up. I have money. I have food stamps. Like there's nothing right now that I need to do other than find a more permanent residence.
Except we're here because you were letting the people, random people take care of the child and moving the child around without you caring for the child.
That was in early December and mid-December that I was not in the best place. But since I've gotten out of jail, and even before, I found permanent residence. Well, not permanent, but you know, I'm in a better place now than I was before. I had a lot of warrants. I had a lot of people in my life that weren't good for me. I've since removed them. I've since taken care of these warrants. You know, I've done my parenting classes. I got a job lined up that I can start next week.
Ms. Martinez, I would argue that you didn't take care of the warrants. You got arrested for the warrants. You didn't go
Yes,
take care of them.
yes, I didn't turn myself in, no, but I knew that I had a warrant, so I knew that at any given time that it was something that I was going to take care of. I just didn't get a chance to take care of it the way I wanted to.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, you've told me over and over that you've always had money. I mean, why did you have a bond surrender?
The bond was surrendered because my lawyer at the time had went on maternity leave, and so I couldn't plea, and I didn't know that I was still supposed to report to the bond. That's why I had a bond, was because I was always able to bond myself out. I bond myself out twice on this charge. I've spent over $500 on this charge. I could have bonded myself out this time, but Wendy didn't bond me out. She took my money.
So
I'm not
the bond surrender, and I mean, wasn't
It
because
was
you,
it was just because I stopped calling because I thought me and my lawyer had came up with an agreement. I had spoke with my lawyer and we had agreed with the prosecutor to do drug court, and then she went on maternity leave. So I was waiting on an information about drug court, but instead they put out a warrant because I wasn't reporting. I didn't know I still had to. I've never been on bond this long. Usually I go to court pretty quickly, but because my attorney was on maternity leave, it pushed back everything. That's why I stayed in jail for a week longer than what I was supposed to.
well, but have you disposed of that charge yet?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I pled out and I got time served, so I have no active warrants. I have nothing pending. Um, I do have to go to court today and plea on one of the tickets, but I will get time served because I sat in there for a week longer than what I was supposed to.
I mean, city tickets you're talking about?
Yeah, it was just it was a driving with no insurance ticket or something like that. Driving well,
Just something like that?
it was either that or no. I don't know if he gave me a no driver's license ticket or no insurance, but one of those two tickets because I usually always get those tickets because they're more expensive. So
Because
they'll
you
give
don't
me.
have a driver's license
I do not have a driver's license, no,
and because you don't have any insurance.
because I did not have no insurance at the time. No.
Well, do you have a driver's license right now?
My driver's license is suspended, so I actually have to go in front of a judge and get SR22 insurance, and I have to redo my test.
Okay. So you don't have any insurance right now.
Um,
So when you say you have transportation, you really can't legally transport the child or yourself for that matter.
yes, ma'am. No.
Okay.
but I will take the bus, or I can have city workers. I'm gonna link with family services, so I'll have like a family plan, or I can go to the domestic violence shelter and they can take me some places. I have friends that have driver's license.
Okay.
I've taken city bus before,
Okay.
so it's
Okay, I got it. I got the idea. Okay, anybody else have any questions for Ms. Martinez?
No question, John.
Just,
No question.
just one quick follow-up.
Sure.
Ms. Martinez, you just mentioned the domestic violence shelter. Who is it that you've been having domestic violence issues with?
My baby daddy was very violent towards me, the older kid's dad, before he went to prison. And so I have a case against him, so I can always stay at this domestic violence shelter due to that.
When's the last time you've been around him?
June of 2023.
That's witness.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Ms. Martinez?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Trout, do you have any other witnesses to call?
No further witnesses, Your Honor, would rest.
All right, Ms. Lucero?
I don't have any witnesses, Your Honor.
And so do you rest?
I rest.
Okay, all right. Ms. Zavala, any witnesses to call today?
No witnesses, I rest.
Okay. Ms. Zavala, do you have a recommendation to make?
Yes, Your Honor. I do believe at this time it's in Luxury's best interest to remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department. I do absolutely believe we should look for placement close. She is safe and well taken where she is. We get regular updates. We're able to communicate, but she needs to be in region so that she can work with mom. That's my recommendation.
All right, thank you. All right, then at this time, I find the evidence is sufficient to name the department as temporary managing conservator of the child. I would find that there would be a continuing and ongoing danger to the child to be returned home today due to just general instability. And I'll come back to that in just a minute. But I find that the child is in need of protection at this time, and that reasonable efforts have been made with the mother to, you know, number one, avoid the removal of the child in the first place. And obviously at the time of removal, we were not able to return the child to the mother because she was in jail. Ms. Martinez, you know, I've waffled through this entire hearing about whether just to send you back to through an order of participation and possibly returning the child to you. But the longer this has gone on, you know, I'm just very concerned about the lack of stability. I mean, and there seem to be a number of things that, you know, you talk to me like you want me to believe you got everything under control, but the truth is you don't have everything under control. You know, you deal with your driver's license and no insurance and getting tickets for that stuff, but yet you tell me you have money. You've always had money, you know, and usually if you've got money and you're paying for your insurance, you're taking care of business, then those things don't happen to you, you know. So I don't know where you're spending your money, or if you just don't have quite as much money as what you're wanting me to believe. You know, I just, there's just some real problems with the way you've been living. And it is just patently dangerous for an infant who has no ability to protect themselves or to seek a protective environment, you know, or to outcry to anybody that they are not in a safe place. You know, it's just, you just aren't in a sufficiently stable place in your life for me to be comfortable sending the child home to you. Now, that being said, I mean, yeah, I get it. You got a microwave, you got a crock pot and a refrigerator. Yeah, probably with a baby, you could make do with that. But, the point of all this, and it does concern me that you completed parenting classes and then you went on to tell me about sleeping with the child and, all kinds of other things that are just absolute no-nos, So I'm very concerned that you aren't quite connecting the dots about how important some of this stuff is, or that it's not a priority to you. And because the child is so young, someone in this child's life has to make those things the absolute priority. And that should be you. But, I can't get there today. I can't find that you are making the child a priority and that you're taking care of business and that you're doing the things you need to do to make sure that she is safe and stable. So
I got a bed from the
nope,
department.
nope. Not time for you to talk to me about it. Okay. So I want you to work your services. What I want you to focus on is housing. If you will get some, good, stable housing, a job, and demonstrate that you've got a safe place, get your driver's license stuff cleared up, get your insurance stuff cleared up, spend your resources right now getting some of that stuff taken care of, because you don't have a child in your care that'll alleviate some financial burden, and so I'm not going to make you pay any child support because I want you to use what resources you have to dig yourself out of this hole. When you've started to do all that and you've made some real progress on all that, not only me, but everybody here is going to start looking at, okay, can we get the child back in the home with Ms. Martinez and work with her, make sure she's maintaining stability, make sure that she's taking care of business. Okay. And that's where we want this to end up. So just you have got to prioritize and get some of these things taken care of, and then we will look at sending her home. But I just can't put an infant back into that situation. If you're driving her somewhere and you get stopped because you got a taillight out, or you have some other kind of minor traffic infraction and you get stopped and you've got no DL and you've got no insurance, you're going straight back to jail.
I literally got pulled over
So-
yesterday and got 2 more tickets. It's like a never-ending cycle.
Okay. I get it. And so it's never ending until you take care of it. And so, at some point you can go to jail for this stuff,
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't have you driving around with the baby and then all of a sudden you got to go to jail. And guess what? That arresting officer's first call is to the Department of Family and Protective Services. Said, hey, I got a baby here and I've got nobody to take the baby and mom's going to jail. And then we're right back here. So I want you to have the opportunity to get this stuff taken care of while you don't have the responsibility for the baby. Now, I do want St. Francis to use all efforts to get the child back in region. There's no question. I understand it's a good placement, no fault of those people's. They're doing a great job, but we just need to get her closer. So we need to just look at getting that done as soon as we can. And because until then, you're looking at virtual visits and all that. And it's really hard with an infant. So I'm going to make these folks do their job and try to find placement as quickly as we can. Okay, then, so no child support ordered for mom. Mr. Harris, I gather, is just an alleged father at this point. So I can't order any support or anything for him. I'm gonna order the genetic testing as he's requested. And, we'll try to get that set up, obviously, as quickly as we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, okay. So I think, Ms. Martinez, you turned your camera off, but I think you understand what I'm saying, and I think you have a pretty good idea of what you need to get started on doing. But between now and our next hearing, they're going to talk to you about services. You need to stay in close contact with Ms. Lucero. You know, listen to what she's telling you, listen to her advice. You know, she is in my court all the time. She handles these cases all the time. She's going to give you good advice. You need to listen to her. And I'll see you back on March 25th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. It's just kind of around the corner. And we'll talk about your service plans and all, but you don't have to wait until then to get started. Trust me. So the sooner you get going on things, the better. I'm very concerned about the parenting. I want St. Francis to take a close look at exactly what parenting she took, but I think we need to go back and look at parenting class with the mind of a young child, because kind of sounds to me like we missed some real important things. Okay, I appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you all very much for working clear through the lunch hour. So, I'll see you back in March.
Thank you.
We're here today set for a status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming, and Ms. Goodman's making our record. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Shell Slagle is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Maureen Lucero on behalf of the mother, Alyssa Martinez, Your Honor. I'm present and ready. I was expecting her today, but I don't see her on screen. So if you could just keep a lookout for her, please.
Casey Zavala on behalf of Luxury.
All right, thank you. Okay, Ms. Slagle, if you want to give us an update since your court report was filed.
I think she's struggling to hear us and she's going to call in.
Okay.
There's not much of an update. I've had some difficulty getting a hold of Mom. Her phone broke and she was supposed to have got a new phone on Friday. But I've not been able to visit with her since she got the new phone. I did send her the link for through text messages and to her email. But I've not spoke with her since last Thursday when she called from a different number.
Okay. All right, but
Miss-
I read that she has agreed to her family plan of service. Did she sign it?
Yes, ma'am, and it has been filed.
Okay. All right. What about any additional contact with Mr. Harris?
I did visit with him and he does not want to have any contact or do anything until the DNA test, which we did get the paperwork filled out for that and sent to the Attorney General's office to be scheduled. He said after that he will decide if he wants to take part of the family plan of service or be in Luxury's life.
Well, for his sake, I hope we get it back quickly, so he'll have time to do what he needs to do. He's in San Antonio, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Do we know much about his situation? Is he working?
No, he's not working. His girlfriend of 17 years is what she told me is the one who takes care of the household and their children.
Or he has other children?
Mm-hmm. Neither one of them seemed too happy to visit with me.
Slagle, are you,
Okay, well, sometimes other unexpected children can cause some discord
Yes.
in relationships, so. If he's the dad, may not be. Okay, then, at least hopefully he will cooperate with us to that extent if he's really wanting the genetic testing, so let's hope that he will appear when he needs to. So I'm assuming he has not signed his service plan.
No, ma'am, he would not sign that.
Okay. All right, and was he given paperwork to apply for a court-appointed attorney? Just double checking.
Not by me, ma'am, he was not.
I believe it was sent to him through investigations at the beginning of the case, Your Honor. I think from the beginning, he's wanted genetic testing before he does anything.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And he was personally served on this case, so.
Right.
I believe he does have all the paperwork he needs.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lucero.
Your Honor, real quick with Ms. Lagle, are you needing drug screening for mom? Has she screened?
Yes, I had tried to send her for 2 weeks when her phone was broke.
Okay.
And then when she called me from somebody else's phone, we talked and it was a short conversation. Then I tried to call back to get her to go, and I was not able to get a hold of her again.
Okay. Are you needing hair follicle and UAs?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, we'd ask for drug screening. Mom be ordered drug screen today.
Has anybody attempted to contact her this phone number today?
Yes, I've tried to contact her with the number that she gave me, which would be her new phone number when her phone came in. I did try to contact her on that this morning.
Did you get a voicemail? Did you get anything that would confirm it was her?
It says leave a message on it. So I did leave a message, and that's what I sent the Zoom link to that and to her email yesterday. Then I haven't had any contact back.
Okay. Well, I just was, I'm going to order her to go do the drug testing, but
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to make sure we can communicate with her.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if that's the number she gave as her working number, then we'll assume that that's it. So, all right, then, Ms. Lucero?
Your Honor, again, she's not present here today. I would ask for the hair follicle for it not to be a presumed positive if she can't get there today. I'll reach out. The way I've communicated with her has been through email. I did send her the link for today, but after this hearing, I'll reach out to Ms. Slagle for that updated phone number, and I'll reach out to her father because he'll usually answer his phone, and see if I can get in touch with her there.
All right, I'm going to say by noon tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Give us just a little time to make sure we can contact her.
And I did, Your Honor, discuss with her, that the service plan would become an order of the court, so she understands, what that entails. But that's all I have for the court today, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Vala.
Your Honor, Luxury is doing very well in placement. There was a missed visit, but I think that's because of this phone issue. And that makes sense. I know there was she is placed far away. We get great reports. This placement, communicates very well. So I've got no concerns about her there, but there was talk about either placing with potential family or moving closer. I think, but I could be wrong, that all identified family has kind of been rolled out, but I would like to kind of get an update on that.
I do have an aunt and a cousin that are willing to take her, that we're working on getting the home study together for that.
Okay.
And Ms. Lagle, are they local?
Yes, they are. Yes. And I have visited with them, and they are willing to take Luxury if they're able to complete and pass the home study or be approved home study.
Okay. So I would just ask that you keep me in the loop and let me know how that goes. That'd be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully that's a possibility and we can get the child back here closer. So. All right, then, today then I'm gonna order Ms. Martinez to drug test. That'll be hair and UA by noon tomorrow. Find that there is a continuing danger to return the child home at this time. I'm going to order the service plan as an order of the court. And I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue the child's current placement. And then our initial permanency hearing will be held July 22nd of 2025 on a 9 o'clock docket. All right, so when that home study, whenever that comes back, Ms. Slaley out, keep Ms. Zavala in the loop on that. If it is, if it's denied, if anybody thinks there's good reason for me to go ahead and look at it, you can let me know. If it's one of those things where it's sort of a department policy issue or something, because, with the child this age, we sure would like to have them closer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. I appreciate it, and y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
For our initial permanency hearing, we are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause in agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and Ms. Galvan's making our record this morning. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Michelle Slago is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Lauren Lucero on behalf of the mother, Alyssa Martinez, Your Honor, we're both present ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
Okay. All right, then. Let's see. Update from
Slago.
Ms. Slagle.
Yes, ma'am. There's not a whole lot of updates. Alyssa has started a couple of more services. And in the court report, I stated that she was living with friends, but she is now living with an uncle and kind of has her own space in that area. And she's not working at this time, but she has put in some applications for some jobs that are not bartending and that are kind of in the vicinity of where she lives.
Ms. Slagle, what about, has mom tested for you lately? Drug, alcohol tested?
She is not drug screened at all since the beginning of the case.
Okay, so today we're needing hair follicle and a UA on mom?
Yes.
Okay. Can you have the paperwork over there today?
Yes, I've actually already put it in, and I've already put in for transport to transport her. So I'm just waiting on replies back. I know the drug screen will for sure be in momentarily, and then I will find out about the drug screening. I'm sorry, I'll find out about transport.
Okay, all right. Do we need an alcohol ethanol screen also, or just drug screening?
I did put that in there also.
Okay.
All UA and hair strand.
Okay. Just so I'm clear on that, you did UA and hair strand, but I'm talking about alcohol screening and drug screening. They're both on.
Both of those in, yes, to clarify. UA for drug screening and alcohol screening and hair strand.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Judge, we just asked that those be ordered today.
Do we know for sure we can get her there today?
I have put for transport, and I'm sure that I can ensure that she is there.
Okay. Ms. Layla, you're kind of talking over each of us. So
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So that's why we're not hearing your whole answer. All right. So my question was, because I want to make sure everybody heard the answer. My question was, can we assure that we will get her there before 4 p.m. today?
I believe so. I believe we can make sure that she's transported. As soon as we get done here, I will call transport and let them know that we need somebody for a court-ordered transport to drug screen.
Okay. Okay, anything else as far as updates?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. Paternity testing came back on Devin Harris. It did not exclude him. So we would ask that he be adjudicated based upon the paternity testing, genetic testing.
And we did get personal service on him, okay?
Yes, ma'am. He was served back in February.
All right, child still doing well?
Yes, the child is doing well.
All right then, Ms. Lucero.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Slagle, do you have good contact information for Alyssa? So once transport is set up today, hopefully that you'll be able to reach out to her and so that she doesn't miss those screens.
Yeah, well, I have her email address, and if she has Wi-Fi, I'm able to text her. But she does answer back to my emails.
Okay. And as far as, and so you stated that she has started working a couple more services, is that correct?
Yes, she has started her Padre class and her individual counseling.
Okay.
Which I believe that first session should have been her psychosocial, but she just started, so I have not got that report back yet from Mr. Jennings.
Okay. And how often is Alyssa visiting with Luxury?
Her visits are supposed to be once a week. We've had issues with contacting Alyssa and getting that link to her, and then she had some issues with her app not working correctly. So we're going to try Zoom this week instead of Teams and see if that fixes her problem.
Okay. All right then. So it's if she has a connection or internet connection, things like that, it's supposed to be an hour a week. Is that correct? By video?
Yes.
Okay. So the child is placed out of area?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And just to be clear, at this time, the goal in this case remains family reunification, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And according to your report, the visits, even though Luxury's fairly young, the visits go well. Isn't that correct? According to your report?
Yes. Luxury is very engaged with Mom, and Mom's very engaged with Luxury during visits. You don't hardly ever see any kiddos last an hour on virtual, and Luxury definitely shows to have a great bond with her mom during those visits and is engaged the whole hour.
And Ms. Lego, I know that according to the report, Luxury is doing well in her placement. Is there a possibility? I mean, is it apartment or St. Francis working to try to get her closer to maybe they could start having in-person visits or?
We had put in for a placement request for closer, and then we had retracted that because we were doing a home study on a family member, and then that family member withdrew from the home study. So we will have to put that back in again.
Okay, Ms. Lego, I appreciate your time and help with the case. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, have we had any further contact with the father since the genetic testing came back?
No, I visited with him the day that we got the genetic testing back and let him know that we could ask him if he wanted to have contact with Luxury and start with some virtual visits. Asked about possible placement with him, and he said he couldn't be placement due to his son having some legal issues. And I told him, we could start doing visits, and I have not had any contact with him since then. I've texted and called and left messages with no replies from him. But we do have a courtesy worker that is going out there I've not got her report yet, and it doesn't show that she's made her face-to-face with him. But we do have a worker that's going to try to see him.
Were they gonna go over his service plan with him?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Zabala?
Ms. Slagle, you may have hit upon the information that I need, in regard to visits. I've got notes that the scheduled last Thursday didn't happen. Was that because of connection issues?
Yes. Yeah, she was having issues with her getting the Teams to work, and she was having to download, re-download. And by the time she finally got on, it was almost 11 o'clock. Well, I think it was about 10:45-ish. And by that time we were already off. It was kind of hard to keep Luxury there waiting and not having anybody to talk to. So and then I talked to Alyssa, and we're going to try to do Zoom this time instead of Teams to see if that's better for her.
Great, that makes sense. And then I may have misunderstood this note here, but it sounded like maybe the last visit before this Thursday one was June 12th. I may be wrong on that.
It could be because I had some issues getting a hold of Alyssa because she didn't have a phone anymore. And so I was trying to make contact, and on my end, it was showing that the calls were going through and the texts were going through, but her phone was shut off. So then I decided to start emailing her, and I got a response from the email. So that's when we set up visits again.
Got it. Okay. So up until June 12th, there had been visits, and then they stopped. There was one scheduled for last week, but there wasn't there was a connection issue. Okay.
Yes, I believe there was one other virtual visit in between that June 12th visit. I'm sorry, I was trying to pull up my documentation because I'm the one who actually watches those visits, and I can't pull up my dates.
Okay. At any point since the last hearing, I'm just trying to get it straight. Was Mom in jail?
Yes, Mom was in jail for about a month, maybe a little bit over a month, in May for some tickets and for DWI and in an open container. And so those charges are pending.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so as previously discussed, I'm gonna order Ms. Martinez to go drug test today. That'll be a hair, UA, and alcohol before 4 p.m. Or as St. Francis can transport. And I'm going to adjudicate Devin Harris is the father of Luxury, established the parent-child relationship between them. I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue placement of the child, and find that there would be a continuing danger to return the child home at this time. I will expect the department to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. All right, we will be back on November 18th of 2025 for our next review hearing. That will be on a 9 o'clock docket. Ms. Martinez, this drug testing is really important. So, go get this done. We've got to have a baseline to know, whether this is a problem, whether we're working on a problem, whether we've got, whether we need to do more or less, or, we just don't know until we start monitoring that. So, you can work all your other services, but if we don't have any kind of history about drug usage or alcohol usage, we're when we get down to a final hearing, that's potentially going to be a real problem. So failure to go do those is deemed a positive result. You need to know that if you didn't. Okay, I'll see y'all back in November.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank y'all.
Thank you.
We're here today on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and Ms. Boyd is making our record. She hasn't left us yet. She's sticking in there with us. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Tori Cook will be the permanency specialist today. We're present ready.
Maureen Lucille, on behalf of the mother, Alyssa Martinez, Your Honor, we're both present, really.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of the child.
All right, thank y'all. I was just looking back at my notes about something. Okay. All right, if you want to give us an update in the case, that'd be great.
Sure. So Luxury is doing amazing. She is very bonded with her caregivers. She's learning new things every day, making small phrases, learning new words. She's very active. She's been doing some dance, gymnastics, really enjoying that. I know that she did have some biting issues, and those have decreased. They've lessened a lot. So some redirection there has really worked, as well as staying on a routine for her. So she's doing great. Mom, we hadn't had really much communication since the beginning of October. I believe October 9th, she did have a virtual visit with Luxury, and then contact kind of cut out until last Thursday. I did supervise a virtual visit between Mom and Luxury. Then Mom stated she had a new phone, so I did email her my contact information since I'm covering for Michelle while she's out. But I have not gotten a phone call or text from her yet.
Ms. Cook, are we needing drug screens on Mom? It's been a while.
Yeah, the last one we had was July 24th of this year, so I would request that we get both a UA and a hair follicle today.
Okay. What about other services with Mom? Has she made any more headway on anything?
To my knowledge, no. I was hoping to get in contact with her before we came to court today, but I know that she had completed counseling, but she wasn't able to return to the Padre program for parenting because she did miss too many of those meetings. And Padre also does some drug classes as well, so she hasn't done any of those as far as I know.
On the report, it does state that she did complete 6 hours of parenting while she was incarcerated. Is that correct? You have the certificate?
That is correct.
Okay. Were you able to have a conversation with her about driver's license, transportation issues?
I have not.
Outside of drug screens and cooperation, getting back in touch with Mom, is there anything else you need to ask for in regards to Mom today?
Not in regards to Mom.
Okay. What about Mr. Harris? Any other communication with him? Is he starting to work on anything?
No, at this point, he is still not willing to be placement for Luxury. And I believe does not really want that relationship. I guess there are some legal issues with some people in the home. And he's not willing to resolve those to have Luxury, Luxury in his home or placed with him. So
have you discussed with Mr. Harris if he's wanting an attorney in this case or willing to do the paperwork for an attorney?
I personally have not.
Okay. If we could check with him, see what he wants to do. We have a final coming up in January, I believe. If he is wanting an attorney we need to get that set up.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything in regards to him that you need to request to the court today?
No, not today.
Okay. Anything else to update the court on?
No updates. I know that we were hopefully wanting to ask for a possible mediation in this case before the final.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Hey, Ms. Lucero?
Your Honor, I don't have any questions for Ms. Cook at this time. I think I can clarify some of the ongoing services with my client here in a bit. So
Yeah, go right ahead.
can I go ahead and, well, does Stacy have questions, I guess, or for?
I was just going to ask if we had any information on where mom is living, but that sounds like that should be covered by Ms. Lucero.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see what she's got to say. And then, of course, obviously, Mrs. Volley, you'll have time to ask any other questions.
Okay. Your Honor, I call Alyssa Martinez.
All right, Ms. Martinez, I need you to unmute, and if you've got your camera, okay. And if you'll unmute for me. All right, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth today.
Solemnly swear.
All right. Okay, Ms. Lucero, you may proceed.
Okay, Alyssa, you heard Ms. Cook stated that she was able to contact you last Thursday, or y'all made contact. She supervised a visit. You have her contact information. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I did receive an email.
Okay, all right. And so you've completed your counseling. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what's going on with the Padre program? Did you get kicked out? Are you back in, or what's the status there?
So I talked to the lady that was officiating it, and she said that she was going on maternity leave and that I would have to contact somebody else for those last 2 classes. I believe it's 1 class and then like the final. I guess like we have to meet and she does like an assessment. And that's all I'm lacking on that. And so I'm going to have to contact, I guess, somebody else because she's with child.
Okay.
She's taking maternity leave. So I believe his name is Anthony, that runs the other part of the Padre program. So I'm going to get in contact with him. Hopefully tonight I can be in on class because my classes were on Tuesday. And then I just talked to housing and I got a voucher for that. So I'm needing to get on some kind of phone call or something and talk to some landlords. And I have $1,800 for housing voucher.
Okay. And you got that, is that housing voucher through like HUD? Is that what that is?
It's from a victims compensation program because I'm a victim of domestic violence. I suffered from domestic violence. So it's $1,800 and it goes towards, it could be 3 months rent if the rent is $600, or if say the rent is $1,000 and the deposit's $800, then that covers that. So it's just kind of like a relocation fee.
Okay. All right. And then currently, Alyssa, where are you living here in Amarillo? And if so, where, I mean, you don't have to give the address on here, but are you living somewhere here in Amarillo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Are you living with family or friends at this time, or with who?
Yes. Yeah, I'm staying with friends right now. I'm currently waiting on this voucher so I can get into my own housing. So I'm hoping within, a week or so, I'll be in my own place.
Okay. And you need to make sure that you keep in touch with Ms. Cook if she's still on the case, or Michelle Slagle, so they'll know where you're at. Because once you get into a home, you understand that they have to come out and check it out and things like that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I cannot wait.
Okay. And then now, do you have transportation now?
Yes, ma'am. I have transportation now. I'm enrolled in school. I'm trying to complete these services as quickly as possible. Other than the Padre class, I think all my services are complete unless I need to do something else. So, yeah, I think all I lack right now is stability.
Okay. And then you understand that the judge is likely going to order that you go drug screen today. And now that you have transportation, you need to make sure that you get there today. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I will go to a drug test today at Care Express. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Martinez, do you have a driver's license now?
No, ma'am, but I actually had some income tax that I needed to file from previous years, and I have been approved for my income tax, and I'm waiting any day now. It should be about 3 grand, and with that income tax, if I don't already have a place, then I'm gonna have the opportunity to move, and I'm also gonna get my driver's license. That's gonna be priority number one. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you have some surcharges you need to pay. Is that the deal?
Yeah, my license is actually suspended right now, so I'm gonna have to talk to a judge about an occupational license. I've already got all the information, so I pay I think $200 reinstatement fee, and then I have to retest both physical and a written, and that's about $400. And then as long as the judge grants me an occupational license or a hardship license, then I should be able to get a driver's license hopefully within a couple of weeks. They say it takes about 21 days, but I'm about 7 days in. So any day now, I should be getting that deposit from the IRS. So it's mostly what I'm waiting on.
Are you working?
I'm currently not working. I'm enrolled in school, so I'm trying to maybe take a semester where I focus on school with all this going on. I don't know. I just kind of want to do something outside of going to work every day. Like, I think if I go to school and if I can maybe get like an associate's degree or some kind of certificate before baby gets back, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity because, I am able to kind of focus on, me right now and getting myself together.
Where are you in school?
So I actually enrolled last semester, and then my father just passed away. My dad passed away in October, and he was my last remaining parent. I don't have any grandparents or any parents now, so I took that a little hard. That's why I kind of checked out for a little bit because he was a big support system, and it meant a lot to me to try to get baby back. And I was hoping to do that before he passed, and I wasn't able to accomplish that. So it's still very much a goal of mine. But yeah, my father passed away, and I was the one that had to plan everything. So, I kind of took a little mental break and, just try to collect myself. And, this is the most important thing that I have going on in my life, but it's not the only thing. And so, I have to make sure that mentally I'm able to do what I need to do each day. So, yeah, I don't think school was right then because I was going to go in the fall, but I'm hoping that in this winter or like by January in the spring that I can be enrolled in classes. And I actually want to do like some type of counseling. I think that I'd be good at it.
Well, let me back up. So your intent is to enroll for the spring semester?
Well, I'm hoping that I can be in school by January. So I don't know if that's I guess that's the spring. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where are you going to enroll in school?
Amarillo College. It'll be Amarillo College more than likely. I was thinking maybe Clarendon or Phillips if I do online. But yeah, more than likely it'd be Amarillo College, and it'd be probably for like some kind of counseling degree or something like that, which is a 2-year program.
Okay.
Judge, I got a few questions.
How do you plan to pay for school? Are you going to get student loans, grants?
Yeah. I've already I actually already enrolled. So I was enrolled and I did my financial aid, and all I had to do was pick a program and a college, and then they dispersed that money. But at the time, my dad, he's been really sick for a couple of years now, but his health had started deteriorating more and more, and his weight and everything, had dropped. And so for a couple of weeks, I was just taking care of him, and now he's gone. So we took 2 weeks to plan his funeral, and we just got done with that 2 weeks ago. So I've been kind of dealing with that. So I decided that, yeah, school would probably need to wait till January. And then also I didn't know if I was going to need to do a rehab or like I wasn't sure because, you know, I know that y'all are going to require some things from me and I wanted to keep my availability open.
All right, so let me just ask you outright. I mean, I'm still trying to kind of get my handle on what your plan is and how you're
Okay.
going to make these things happen. And
Okay.
I understand your mental health is very important. You need to take care of it. But I also know that sometimes as parents, we don't always get to just take a mental health day, you know,
Yeah.
sadly, but that's the truth. And so what I need to know is how are you going to provide stability for luxury? And the biggest issue here and what I'm sitting here looking at and why I'm asking you these questions is because we have a final in your case coming up January 29th. That's right around the corner.
Yes, ma'am.
So I need to know, you know, there's got to be a plan in place here. What does this look like? So
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I have housing. I have an
okay,
$1,800 housing voucher
I've heard,
to
okay, hang
get me in a
on.
place.
Hold on.
And
The
then
court, hang on. The court reporter cannot take you and me talking at the same time.
okay.
Okay. So if you applied for financial aid back in the fall, you may have to re-up some stuff on that again for the spring semester. It doesn't necessarily mean it rolls forward. So you're telling me you're going to rely on financial aid, school loans, possible grants, that kind of thing, but you need to have a job. I don't care whether you're in school or not. You're grown up now. You need to have a job. School's great, but it just can't be your only occupation when you have a child. So you really need to start looking for stable employment, and you know, it's important for a lot of reasons. So I'm just telling you straight up, that's going to be important. Getting the driver's license is going to be important, and you know, we're running out of time. So let me ask. I mean, it's the elephant in the room. Let me ask: have you used recently? Because I'm sending you to drug screen today. I'm going to find out one way or the other. So, have you used
Yeah.
recently?
I did relapse. Yes, I did relapse. Yes, ma'am.
When did you last use?
It was probably the 18th of October.
Okay, so very recently.
Yes.
What did you use?
Cocaine.
Anything else?
It was like in a pill form, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
It should show up as cocaine or meth, but it was in a pill form, so you know, you never know what you get in those instances.
Yeah, and that's pretty scary, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how many people die of fentanyl overdosing when they take one of those pills that they don't know what's in it?
Yes, ma'am.
Lots. Okay, so I am going to send you a drug test today. We know that's going to come back positive, but you know, we're dangerously close to this deadline. So I'm going to give you some good advice right now. I'm going to tell you that you need to spend some serious time talking with Ms. Lucero about what your options are right now. I'm strongly going to suggest you consider inpatient treatment since you're waiting on housing, since you're waiting, you don't have a job. I mean, now's the time to do it.
Yeah,
And
I'm on a list.
everybody's going to be looking at that, and everybody's going to be looking at, you know, what's the relapse prevention plan going to be? I mean, there's a lot of planning that needs to happen between now and January 29th. And a lot of that stuff you don't have complete control over when it happens and how it happens. So, you know, you need to have a very heart to heart discussion with Ms. Lucero about where you stand right now and where we go from here.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Lucero, did you have anything else today?
No, Your Honor, I just wanted her to let the court know kind of where she's at, because I think with the switch over from Ms. Slagle to Ms. Cook, I think that the Padre program kind of was what the update on that was, and her transportation, things like that.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala?
Ms. Martinez, it sounds like you had a lot going on in October. Is that why there was no visit with luxury for
Yes,
about
ma'am.
5 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And before that, is it correct that visits have been pretty sporadic?
Yes, I haven't had a phone. The times I've had a phone that's worked and it gets broke, or, I'm usually on Wi-Fi, so that's been mostly the reason. There's been a couple of times where Miss Slagle wouldn't send the link until like right before the visit, and I wouldn't receive it until the visit was already over. So there's been a couple of times where that's happened as well. It's not always me. There's been times where Miss Slagle didn't even send me a link, or me and placement was on the call and she wasn't. So,
But for the
I'm
last
not
5
perfect.
weeks or so, you've been
Yes.
out of touch.
Yes. The last 5 weeks or so, I've been out of touch.
I pass the witness.
Okay,
Judge, I got just a couple of questions.
sure, go ahead.
Ms. Martinez, you stated a while ago your last use was in October, but your last drug screen was in July.
Yeah.
Why were you not screening from July till up to now?
A lot of times I wasn't getting the message on time. I had transportation issues. I was staying off of I-40 and Eastern, and I was having trouble getting to and from work. Like, I'm not guaranteed a ride no matter what it is. I don't have any family. I don't really have anybody that has stability or anybody that, looks out for me. So, unless I walk, or unless Lorraine or Michelle could take me, a lot of times I was missing those drug screens. There's been a couple of times where I've missed counseling and stuff because, transportation.
And I understand that, but you're an adult, correct?
Yes.
And you need to figure out a way to get these things done.
Yeah. You got to understand too, like, I don't have any hair. Like, my hair is fried. Like, I get hair. I've been doing hair follicles and drug screens for 3 years. Like, I have no hair left. Every time I'm supposed to do a drug screen, that's my hair. That's
Well,
part of who I am. Like, I realize that
I'm
y'all
going to
don't have to
object,
do
Your
this.
Honor. Object at this point, Your Honor.
Staying the objection. Ms. Martinez, then quit using drugs and we'll quit testing your hair. It's that simple. Okay, Mr. Trout, any further questions?
Yes, ma'am. You said you're living with family or friends. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm here and there. I'm like honestly homeless. I slept in my car last night. I mean, I'm literally like without stability. That's the main thing, is I don't have a home.
I
So
understand.
yeah, it's kind of hard for me to do anything. I can't even
Well,
shower most of the time.
You're
But
stating
yeah,
you have, hold on. You're stating you have transportation issues, yet you're sitting
well,
in a car right now.
I just got this car. I've had this car for like 2 weeks now. My
Okay.
dad didn't even get to see my car. He passed
You
away
are-
before.
Ms. Martinez, you understand you just stated you're also trying to get your license back and that you have surcharges. You understand if you get caught driving without a license right now, you're going to have more surcharges and more
Yeah.
things. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I usually don't drive. I sit in my car and I slept in it last night, but generally speaking, I don't drive most of the time. I don't really have anything to do. So, I mean, I'm just living in it right now. I should have bought a house, but I didn't know my dad was going to die. So I kind of got the car first
Objection,
because
Your
we
Honor.
both needed one.
Non-responsive at this point.
Sustained.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor. We'll pass the witness.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Lucero?
Your Honor, all I was going to clarify, there have been issues, and I know it's her responsibility to get to and from her services, but there have been times where we're in an email chain, and she a couple of times that I'm aware of, that that transportation was supposed to be set up and it wasn't. So I'm not blaming all her no-shows on, the department, anything like that, but there has been transportation issues. That's all I have.
Can you get there today before 4 o'clock, Ms. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, Ms. Zavala, you have a recommendation today?
Yes, Your Honor. Luxury's doing great in her placement, and I do recommend that continue.
Okay, thank you. All right, then I'm going to order Ms. Martinez to go hair and UA for us today before 4 p.m. Failure to appear will be deemed a positive result. Failure to give a correct sample is deemed a positive result. I'm just reminding you of that, so be sure that you go prepared to test. All right, I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement. I find there would be a continuing danger to return the child to either parent at this time. I also find that neither parent is in compliance with their family plan of service. We are set for final January 29th of 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. I am going to order you all to mediate before, let's say, January 20th.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm just making sure I heard you correctly. Did you say you're finding that both parents are in non-compliance?
I find that they are not in compliance. I mean, Mr. Harris, we know, he's indicated he isn't going to do anything for us, so he's clearly not in compliance. Mom has worked some services, but she's also just admitted to me that she's used cocaine within just the last few weeks, and she hasn't drug tested for us since July. I feel like we could have somehow gotten her there sometime between July and now for a drug screen if she'd really wanted to test. So, she's not completed services, and sadly, but part of her family plan of service is stable employment and stable housing, and we haven't achieved that either, which are both huge concerns to me at this stage of this case. And as it stands at this moment, I'm not seeing extraordinary circumstances to grant an extension in the case. So, we're rapidly running out of time.
Your Honor, I would like to ask.
I want her to talk to you, Ms. Lucero. I mean, I want her to understand exactly what her options are at this point.
Okay, I would like to ask a question, Your Honor, before we log off. As far as if she, I know housing is a concern, because we're way into the case. But if she were to, in the court's view, would it be better for her if she needs help to go ahead and go to a rehab facility as opposed to focusing on getting a home at this time? So I mean that way when I discuss with her what her options are, I can guide her. Because I know go ahead.
My advice to her was she might want to consider that since she doesn't have her housing yet. And I don't know when she's going to get that voucher, and if I think you just would have to discuss with her, if she goes to inpatient, is it going to affect that voucher? I don't think it would. I don't think it would change anything. Outpatient, intensive outpatient is another option, that she could consider. I'm supportive of both of those options.
Okay.
But it's we've been having people on wait lists for these things, and so I just think if she's going to do that, she needs to be looking hard at what she wants to do pretty quick. And if she can't get a bed in an inpatient, then I think trying to get in an outpatient program would be better use of her time if she could start that right away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
And I will say, Ms. Martinez, I am not unsympathetic to your loss of your dad. I'm sorry for that. But it's like I said to you, it's just about mental health as a parent, you don't always get to take that break when you really want one or when you really need one. And that's part of what we are trying to accomplish with you, is to get you in a position where when life throws, curveballs at you, that you can still stand on your own 2 feet and take care of your child. That's just all part of the process. So I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to kick you while you're down, so to speak. But it's just where we've got to be in a different situation to know that Luxury will be in a safe, stable environment. She's 2. She can't take care of herself.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll see y'all back January 29th. Go mediate before January 20th. Miss Katie, do we know who's up on that list? Can tell them right now.
Yeah, Judge, give me 1 second. I was in the middle of.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay. Hold on 1 second.
You can email it out to everybody. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
We need to continue to move through our docket. So, all right. So she'll get in touch with y'all and let you know who's going to mediate for you. All right. I appreciate it. Ms. Martinez, good luck to you. Talk with Ms. Lucero. She'll give you good advice.
Thank you.
And you're free to go at this time.
Thank you.